Resident Evil has been a big part of my life, having played it loads during my childhood to it still being relevant to my life now. So today I thought it'd be interesting to go back and rank them all, from the better games to the worst games, and my take on all of them. This is just my take, so feel free to agree, disagree, or argue in the comments. Let's get into it. We're all ready. I'm gonna lay out the rules. So I've added an S plus tier. What this S plus tier is I'm gonna put 3 games in it. Only 3. I'm limited to 3, and those 3 games aren't gonna be what I think maybe are the best games, but my favorites. So my top 3 favorite games will probably go in this S plus tier thing. I think I'll do favorites anyway. If I change my mind, then I'll change my mind. Then these are all usual, and then we got games I haven't played. Really quickly, I am gonna just put in the games I haven't played in. I haven't used the thing before. I actually haven't played the Outbreak games either. I think I really want PC. I mean, I already know it's like detail that. I'm gonna put Code Veronica in. I have played a few minutes of Code Veronica, but it's not on PC, so I can't finish it. Can't play it. However, all these games I have in fact played. So these are like the canon games, mainline games. But we got the Revelations as well in there. Should we get into it? Let's actually get into it now. Let's start with RE1. Has anyone played the OG RE1? I am a fake fan, absolutely. Has anyone played the OG RE1 before? I have. I don't think I've completed it, but I have played it a little bit. I do own it on PS3. I own it on PC as well. And there's some shitty browser versions you can play as well. It's an introduction, that's for sure. The voice acting is hilarious. But it definitely gives the game, more soul. And you have to appreciate it for that. Appreciate it for starting the RE series. And the hilarious voice lines are amazing. I'm gonna put it in beta. It's okay. It's not a game you go into to play like a legitimate game, but because of the voice acting, it's not like you can really be immersed in it. However, I'm sure if you were to have played this back in like the late 90s, it probably would have felt terrifying back then, but I think it's aged very, very, very horribly. So I'll put it in beta, but it started the series off. We got survival horror mechanics, basics, so I'm gonna put it in beta now. I don't know if I'm going to do my favorites. I'm going to decide them now, but I am going to... Maybe at the end, I'll put in my 3 favorites. That might be spoilers as to where this might be going in a second. This is going to S tier. Absolutely amazing game. They improved from the first one massively. The voice acting, is still not amazing, but it's miles better than the first game. There's more. They've added more action, which that's fine. I feel like Resident Evil wouldn't be Resident Evil if it didn't have that chunk of action in it as well. Maybe not so much in the later games, but I think RE2 is where it kind of perfects that. And yeah. I do think, and I'll probably talk about this more when I get to the remake of the game, but there are things to do with the scenarios which I think make this game actually a bit superior. However, this might be going higher than this one. You never know. We'll see later though. I don't know what to say about the game. I played it for the first time like 3 years back in 2022 on PS3, and I got it on PS I got on PC this year, and I had like an 8-hour stream where I did 2 playthroughs, and I've done every scenario on every character. I think it's really cool how you can leave items behind for the other character when you play in the other scenario. And I think it's really cool how each scenario, the story changes like a little amount. I think that's amazing. Resident Evil, the original, is still the most popular Resident Evil game. Yeah. Obviously back then as well, it was really good back then. I'm pretty sure it was more played than the first game. You can't go wrong with it really. You get introduction to characters like Leon and Claire. Some of the most, the most popular, some of the most popular characters in the entire series. They shape the series going forward as well, which is amazing. Seeing Chris's sister from the first game, that's also quite cool. So yeah. And it's definitely one of my favorite games of all of them. But I'm gonna make this clear now. None of these are going in. Like, maybe one of them will go in D tier. I don't know. But I don't think any of the games are particularly bad. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. This is where I don't know if I should yap about Nemesis here more, or if I should yap about it more when I get to the remake. That's also an S tier. When I played this for the first time, like 3 years ago, I was shocked. Because I'd played the remake plenty of times, and I hadn't played the original. I'll talk about the remake more later. But in Nemesis, Nemesis, fuck, it blew me away because I had not expected a game to be that, especially like from 1999 as well. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was, and I didn't expect to have as much fun as I did. Nemesis is still a pain in the ass. However, he's terrifying. I think the Brad death scene is one of the most iconic scenes in any of the RE games. And all of Nemesis stuff as well. Welcome. Yo, Lewis, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. I think at the end as well, with you want stars? I'll give you stars. Put in that at the end. I do think that's kind of badass. I love this game so much. The clock tower section is awesome. The choices you can make, whether to fight Nemesis or leave him behind, I think that is also like quite an awesome thing. We haven't seen a choice system like that, apart from maybe in RE7 in any of the other RE games. Oh no, we've seen it in Revelations 2, didn't we? In episode 3. But we don't see it throughout the game like we do in RE3. I think it's really interesting. RE3 Nemesis as well with Raccoon City. The fact you can explore the city is big, it's complex. You've got alleyways, you've got these little main roads, you've got these streets, you've got all these buildings you can go in. You've got these events that happen when you go around the city. So depending on what path or route you take, a different event might happen. I remember like a door busting open, a survivor ran out with loads of zombies eating him. Nemesis is much scarier in original RE3 and isn't any well designed. Don't quote me on this, but it was on
Slay Queen.
It sounds like ChatGPT. Anyway. First stalker enemy ever. I wouldn't say that. I think RE2 with Mr. X, although he was more scripted here, he didn't really stalk you that much. Which, I'll get more on in the remake. They did improve a lot as well. Yeah, I think the design of the city, the characters are pretty nice. Nemesis is awesome. His introduction is awesome. Going back to the RPD, when I was in the RPD as Jill and he smashed through that window, I actually shat myself. I was not expecting it all. I did not expect him to just fucking smash through that window. Like, this game is one of the best RE games, and I will say it's one of my favorites. Whether it's my top three, I don't know. I'm gonna be saying this is my one of my favorites to like all the games here, but you know, this is. There's probably more I can say, but I can't really think right now. There's a bit more action in the second game, and I do quite like it. I think it's a really good game. I think we just move on. Jeez, that's okay. There's gonna be a lot of S tier games. Resident Evil 1. Technically, it's a remake. It's labeled as a HD remaster, but it's a remake because they added things like Crimson Heads. Uh, what else did they add? They added Crimson Heads, and they did that. Like the burning corpses. They added Lisa Trevor. That wasn't a thing before. You're so cute. Shut up, shut up, shut up. This game, if I'm basing this game of, you know, what games are my favorite and what games are my least favorite, yeah, I would agree with A, because I don't the gameplay, I don't want to play this game as much as I do with 2, 3, I don't know any of the ones here. But in all fairness, I think RE1 perfects survival horror. It is pure survival horror. Like there's not all that action. We've got the fixed camera angles. We've got the puzzles. We've got the mansion. We've got all the keys. I'm saying a lot actually, aren't I? But yeah, you literally have the definition of the genre of survival horror in this game. It's not my favorite game. You know, I don't want to be playing this hours on end, especially the door cutscenes. I feel like 2002, or at least in the 2015 HD version, they could have removed the door cutscenes or made a skip for it. That would have been nice. So that's not too good. The voice acting is an improvement. It's not great, but it works. You know, it's something. It's there. But as an RE game, as a survival horror game, this perfects the genre so well. So well. Door cutscenes are goated, what do you mean? I will say, door cutscenes are like the same in all the games, or the early games. RE2 does something genius in the boiler room, where you enter the door and the door cutscene plays and you see 2 zombies in front of you. That surprises you because you think in the door cutscenes you're safe. Nothing's happening. It's just a door cutscene. You probably let your guard down. You probably look away. But suddenly 2 zombies are coming through in that cutscene. It's another thing that the OG RE2 fucking this is just amazing for doing something like that. But yeah, no. The graphics as well. I think the graphics are brilliant. I mean, it's all pre-rendered because of the fixed camera angles, but that's perfect. You know, we've got classic survival horror. But yeah, I would do that, but I'm gonna do A. I'm gonna be S. Sorry. For the time, our graphics aren't bad at all. Yeah, no, that's because of the fixed camera angles and the pre-rendered graphics that come with it. Right, RE0. This is where it might get controversial. B. I have not completed this game. Why? Because it fucking pisses me off. The dropping the items, the no. I am tempted to put it in C. I might put it on the lower end of B, or I might put it on the high end of C. I don't know. The amount of fun, I don't have much fun playing it. The train is a really cool setting. Being in the compartments of the train, you know, very claustrophobic. You got zombies. That's really cool. The characters, I think, are the best thing in the game. The dynamic between Billy and Rebecca and the characters themselves are amazing. Like, probably some of my favorites. It's probably even better than like Leon and Claire and RE2, considering they don't really meet much. Yeah, but as I was saying, I have loads of issues, and that is the item box mainly. I say loads of issues, but the item box is one of my biggest issues, then there not being item blocks. Dropping items and then like because you can drop all the items in the same room to compensate for the item box. But when you're trying to pick up the item that you want, it's really annoying because you can't get it. And then there's a limit for the amount of stuff you can put in one room as well. So sometimes you have to separate it between two rooms. And there's this thing with the drop hook or something, or the hook shot. I think it's the hook shot. You never know when you need that, and it takes 2 slots. You use it at the start of the game, and you use it later on in the game as well. Shut up, both of you. No, I do stand by it. Like, I don't think the enemies as well, the monkeys and all that, I don't think it's a good game design. When you're not able to move or aiming and you got fixed camera angles and other controls, giving an enemy that's very mobile and that can jump around, not amazing. The leeches are a bit weird, but I mean, I can get past it. I guess it's through the lore of the game. And the train setting being my favorite setting, being one of the coolest settings, I think, in any RE game. One of the most interesting settings. And you're only in it for maybe 1 to 2 hours, depending how fast or slow you are on your first playthrough. Rebecca, though, amazing character. It's really nice to see Rebecca after you see her in RE1. And getting her own game, I think that's also awesome. But I don't enjoy the majority of my time playing this. I don't enjoy managing my inventory between the two of them. Switching characters, I mean, sure, that's alright. I'm not going to hate on it. I don't have a strong opinion. It's mainly those issues that I am quite strong on. So yeah, I'm putting that as C. Quite low down, isn't it? I'm scared. It's going to be so controversial. I'm going to get hate now. Anyway, RE4. I think it's wrong to put it anything below S. RE4 is considered one of the greatest games of all time by a load of people. It's one of those. I think is it the most popular RE game? I don't know. In fact, I prefer these two over RE4. So I'm gonna do that, but we're not gonna rank them individually, that thing, but yeah. RE4 is amazing, the original RE4. My issues? Do I have issues? There are issues, actually, for a game that's considered so perfect. You'd think there wouldn't be many issues, but no, I actually do have a few that I can name. We've got more action oriented. Also, this game did start the decline of the series, with the later games, or the next 2 games. So it did kind of fuck up it all. It's very iconic. Yeah, it shaped like the world of gaming after as well. This is one of the games that sort of made third-person over-the-shoulder views popular, which I think it deserves a lot of credit for as well. But we'll just move on to my issues with the game. If you've played it, you already know how good it is. You can't go wrong with RE4. My issues, though, we've got the controls. The controls are fine, but the controls you can't move and you can't aim at the same time. Getting out the knife and all that, that's quite slow and swinging it. That's fine. I'm only mentioning this because when you get to the later sections of the game, it does get a little bit annoying with certain enemies. You've got the axe throwers are fine, sure, but when you're getting to the guys with crossbows in the castle and you're getting to the guys with guns at the island, they're not amazing because you can't move quick. You can't aim and move at the same time. And with the controls being like they are, which is perfectly fine, I have nothing wrong with tank controls. The controls of any of these games, again, I didn't mention tank controls in these games because, to be honest, I don't hate them. I don't love them, but I mean, like, I kind of like them because it's like a classic game. I do quite like the feel. But with this game, when you've got people shooting arrows at you in that second half, and you've got the guns and all that, that's where it's like, hang on, it's a bit annoying. So that's my issues with the game. But and also the Navisadors, I fucking hate them. Still, it's so iconic. The voice lines as well, amazing. First time it was so revolutionary, and Jenny got so many people into it. So was the first time I could... Oh yeah, it's one of those. Yeah, it was literally so popular at the time, and still popular now. I think it was initially released on the GameCube. Was it meant to be an exclusive? I forgot if it was meant to be exclusive to the GameCube or not. One of the games were. Maybe it was this one. I'm not sure. I do think it was RE4. I think it was, yeah. But yeah, and also the amount of ports this game has, because of how popular it is, it has a mobile port. I mean, I'm surprised they don't even have it on DS, but they have it on Wii. They have it on the Nintendo Wii. I mean, it's okay. I don't think I have to say much more. I'm not going to say much more because it's RE fucking 4. It's Resident Evil 4. Okay, do not play it on the Wii. There's even a VR version. Like, I have played the VR version all the way through. Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5. If you ask me where would I put this on the tier list, if you ask me where I'd put this back in 2022 or 2023, I'd be like B. I'd put it in B. Well, guess what? I'm putting it in A. Now, this is solely dependent. This is solely dependent on whether you're playing with a friend or not. If you're not playing with a friend and you're playing with AI, B. If you're playing with a friend, it's one of the funnest RE games of all time. It is honestly such an experience. It's so good when you're playing with a friend. I love my games. AI in RE5. Honestly, the AI is so shit. I'd put it in like B tier. But when you're playing with someone else, you're playing with a friend, it is so fun. I mean, I feel like the feel of RE5 is really nice, but it does get ruined by the AI. It can feel just a bit exhausting because you're just failing over and over again due to Sheva. Usually, people blame Sheva for it. When it's not her, it's fucking AI. If you play as Sheva, Chris will be the exact same level of stupidity. It's not the greatest RE game, no. Obviously, there's not much survival horror. Like, there's not much horror in it. It is very action orientated. The 9 inventory slots, I mean, alright, I guess. But with a friend, it is hilarious, but it's also really fun. We see Wesker in it more than ever before. I think that's awesome. I mean, we get to defeat Wesker at the end. We get the introduction to Sheva as well. Pretty good character. Then we also got the DLC, which I haven't played, but that's decent as well. Chris and Jill together, obviously. Oh yeah, and seeing Jill in the game, I think is cool. But yeah, but it's so fun. And we see Wesker, we got Chris, we got the iconic boulder punching scene. How you can't go wrong. It's so iconic. The controversy. I should probably controversy. I should probably speak about the controversy. It's stupid. It's set in Africa. Of course, the majority of enemies are going to be black. That's how it is, right? All the other games, the majority of the enemies are white because it's not set in Africa, where the majority of people are black. I don't see the controversy that well. I don't know why it's like that. But yeah, we'll put it in A. I'm actually putting it in A. Revelations 1. Revelations 1. Beta. Why? Why am I putting in beta, guys? Voice acting, not good. I'm just getting straight into it. I'm not even introducing the game. Revelations. I played it on my 3DS at first, but then PC this year. I 100% did it on my DS, getting all the story achievements. I beat it on the hardest difficulty, got the infinite rock launcher, whatever. Did all that. Been there, done that. Revelations. I do think it's a good Resident Evil game. You know, you've got that ship you explore. It's quite big. Quite easy to get lost. You get to see Jill as well. It's cool to see Jill. You get to see Chris as well. Seeing Chris and Jill together again is really nice. Then we see weirder characters like Raymond and Jessica. But like I said, my issues is like voice acting. At the start, I think Jessica says, "Me and my sweet ass are on the way." It's so horrible. It really took me out of the moment, and I couldn't really focus on the game because I was laughing too much at that shitty ass voice line. That just did not feel natural at all. The whole Terragrusia thing, I guess, is kind of cool. Oh, fun fact: this is the game where the public became aware of bioterrorism. Yo, is that? Oh, James Pilkington. Yo, well, that's good. Thanks for the rose. I'm doing it to this. Everyone's over on Twitch right now, so I'm not talking to myself. Don't worry. As I was saying, thank you so much. Revelations is the game that introduced the public to bioterrorism. Before that, RE2 was covered up as a viral outbreak, and it was nuked. RE2 and 3 with Raccoon City. RE4 is just some Spanish village out in the middle of fucking Europe. RE1, obviously, no one believed the STARS members when they got back, and the mansion blew up, so all the evidence was gone. And then I think RE5 is... Is this set between 5 and 6, or is it set between 4 and 5? I think it's before 5. I think. Yeah, it would be. So this game, the Terragrusia Panic, we get the Terror Save bioterrorism group, anti-bioterrorism, I think. So the public became aware of bioterrorism because they unleashed hunters onto this city, and the city ended up. I didn't get nuked. It like got submerged underwater or something. It all collapsed, and then submerged underwater. With T Abyss virus as well. So the final boss fight is one of the hardest in the games. In any of the games. It's pretty cool. As I was saying, the ship segments are really cool. It's not like hugely action based like 5 and 4. It does start heading in the right direction again, which is sick. Which is cool. But it can be a little bit janky, a little bit clunky because again it was made for the 3DS. And the graphics, I suppose, weren't amazing either because of that. It was super clunky. I very much enjoyed it. I don't think it was as clunky. You can turn off the setting which changes your your turning of the mouse, so it's not feel clunky. So don't feel clunky. So it's more smoother. But yeah, it was made with DS in mind, so it is a little bit clunky. The enemies are just sponges. They don't really react to gunshots. I will say, where should I put it in front? I don't know. I will say one of the creepiest things in any of the games, it actually comes from this. I feel like the comms officer, when you get into that room with the comms officer, it's so scary because you're hearing this Mayday, Mayday over and over again, being repeated and repeated. You don't know where it's coming from, but it sounds so fucking creepy. And you hear all these growls and stuff. Eventually, you see the door being bashed against, you see the lock, and you know you have to shoot the lock because you need to get the comms officer, but you know there's some fucking huge boss in there, and it's scary with the the mayday, the voice lines. So you break the lock and you've got a really awesome enemy design, a shit insta kill mechanic, but I think it's so scary and it's really good that they do that. But yeah, it's not perfect. There's still, especially towards the end, there's quite a bit of action. I think the enemy variety is there much. I feel like towards the end you get a little bit more. You get Parker, you get new characters, which are okay. The stories, I think the story's decent. I don't think it's that bad. I think the whole biotism, like becoming released to the public, is I think it's quite good to release that. Overall, I think it's okay. I wouldn't say it's good, but not very good. It's not particularly good, but I do think it's good. I think it's still an enjoyable game. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna yap about it anymore. I don't think there's much else I can really say. If I usually think of something later on when talking about another game, like I did with RE2 and the Doors and whatever the hell. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. I'm moving my hands in real life, like I'm doing it right now, as if you guys are talking, like as if you guys are right in front of me. I'm presenting this to you, but none of you guys can see me at all. I'm still continuing to wave my hand though. RE6. RE6 ruined the entire series. What are we doing? D. With a friend. Maybe C. It's like it's going one of the lower ones. The AI is better. So that's something. You're not going to get annoyed if you're playing solo like an RE5, so they improved on that. But the game is so over the top in action. The prologue is just exploding cars, helicopter shooting at you, running away, jumping on cars, and it's so hilariously stupid. Leon gets exploded. There's an explosion right in front of him, right in his face, and he just bounces back, and he's like, "Oh fuck's sake, God!" And gets back up. Maybe uses a herb. Maybe just if it's a cutscene, probably doesn't use a herb. Just gets up, brushes the dust off his shoulders, and he's fine. He's all good. Leon's campaign had me rolling on floor laughing. Exactly. It's so stupid. It is so stupid. Like it's hard to stay immersed in the game when it's just explosion after explosion. Leon literally tanking everything. It's mad. The antagonists, I don't really remember them. There's Simmons, he's somewhat rememberable. I don't remember. I don't remember any other ones. Oh yeah, we got Ada, and we got the clone of her. What's the name again? I remembered it. I fucking Ada's twin name, whatever the name is. I don't know how I forgot. Kind of stupid. It's RE6. If you've seen it, if you played it, you know what I'm about. Ada's in it. If you play co-op as Ada, you get a fucking hunk. Yeah. Are we happy with Deer Tick? Are you just want to change my mind? Or are you guys quite happy with that? Problem is, if I don't put this in D tier, I'm telling you now, right? Spoiler alert, none of these are going in D tier. I mean, I was thinking before I started this stream, I was like, nothing's going in D tier, apart from RE6, because it's fun, right? It's got pretty cool action mechanics and all that. It's a fun game to play. It's a fun action game. Resident Evil game completely ruins it. Playing with friends, that adds to the fun. So I feel like this is dependent on your experience of the game. You're either gonna hate it, not mind it, and how maybe you'll quite like it, and you'll probably have a lot of fun with it. So I feel like it should sit between a C and a D. But just because nothing else is going in D, I'm gonna put it in D. But yeah, and I mean, what is cool though is you get to see Leon, right? That's something. You get to see Chris. Chris and Leon meet up. That's cool. That's two main characters. We get Ada as well, obviously. We get see Sherry again after RE2. That's also really nice. We get new characters like Elena. She's the right character. We got Piers, an amazing character. I love Piers. We've got Jake Miller, Albert Wesker's son. I mean, come on, that is awesome. You know, I'm convincing myself to putting it in C. And then we got fucking, if you're playing co-op, we got fucking Hunk. You got some agent. You got some random agent. I think he's just called Agent in the game. So yeah, I'll put it in D since that's not gonna be filled. But there are a lot of cool things in the game. It is fun, so I wouldn't, I would consider it putting a C. I guess RE5 is an S. No. Everyone was saying B, but I disagreed. I think Playing with a Friend A all the way. But as an RE game and all that, I'm not gonna yap again. You can go back and upload it to go back in the video and see my explanation for it. I do yap for quite a while about RE5. It's my most controversial opinion yet, I think. Yeah. Maybe apart from Zero. I think B is completely fine. If they played with AI, then fuck it. You could put it in C. Playing with a Friend, A, or a really high B, but I'm gonna put it in A. Revelations 2. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't played this in ages. I could even check. The last time I played it, I'm pretty sure it's 2023, November. It would have been like a few minutes. I don't remember. If I played it again, I may change my mind on where I put this. I do think it's better than Rev 1. I had more fun with it than the original RE1. And I do think it is an underrated game. From what I remember, I do think it is underrated. I'm actually going to put it in A for now, but I might change my mind. I put it in A because when I was a kid, it was one of the first RE games I played. It absolutely terrified me. Playing as Claire is also awesome. I do recognize that it is a bit of a copy of Code Veronica. I don't really like that. But seeing Claire again, that's cool. One of the main characters, one of my favorite characters in the entire series. You get to see Barry. Like, excuse me, Barry from RE1. I've yapped about this so many times, but like, I love Barry. Well, I don't love Barry, but I really want to see him more. I feel like he was there at the start of it all in RE1, and he survives. But we don't see him. We see Chris, we see Jill, we see Wesker. For even Brad, we see in RE3, and he fucking dies, so he gets an end. But in Rev 2, finally we get a Barry. We see Barry after all this time, and it's amazing. I love how we get Barry back, and we get this cool father-daughter mechanic dynamic. Sorry, between him and Natalia. Natalia's a bit weird, all that stuff. Whatever. Story's decent, I guess, but the plot is quite this. I think it's really cool how Barry's like little scenarios are 6 months after RE2. So you've got this really like after RE2, 6 months after the Claire's part, and you play Claire's first, and Barry's and Claire's and Barry's for each episode. So it's quite cool unfolding the story in a way where one's in it and one's in the future looking at the like remnants of it. That is awesome. Moira, I think Moira's a good character. We learn more about Barry and his daughter or his daughters. Uh, I think it's quite scary. I definitely do think it's quite scary. Fucking TikTok notification. At least it scared me quite a bit first time. Uh, it's not, it's not got huge maps or anything. It's nothing like the RE1 Mansion or the RPD or Raccoon City. But I feel like it deserves more recognition. Maybe if I were to replay it, I would change my mind and maybe put it down to a B. But I think it's underrated. There's more recognition, so I'm gonna put it an A. I'll cut these parts out where I just think I don't know if there's anything else. Oh yeah, right. There is one more thing I want to say about it actually. Another thing that's really cool. We see Barry's return, and Barry he sees Wesker again, but not the same Wesker who threatened his family. Instead, his sister. We get Albert Wesker's sister in this game as the primary antagonist, and no one mentions this game, and yet the antagonist is the sister of like the primary antagonist of all RE. How are we gonna look past that? All right, I think the gameplay is alright as well. No, I didn't mention that, did I? Really, the gameplay's okay. Uh, yeah, that's it. That's all I can say about that. I'm gonna put an A, and that's the reason why. The reasons why. Resident Evil 7. Fuck, I dropped it. I dropped it. Not looking good. Maybe some cracks in there. Oh, fuck. I hate this. I hate this. Um, right. I have issues. Honestly, it's probably one of my favorites, but overall, it might be like the top of the A list. But I don't think it belongs next to 5 and Revelations 2. I might have to put it on the lower end of S. At least that'd make everyone happy. It obviously it took the series back in the right direction. First time you play it, it's terrifying. It loses its scare factor after a little bit, but it can be quite terrifying. I think the way it approaches horror is genius. Like you've got the start with Mia. You've got like this creepy girl from like Grudge, or like The Ring is. It's kind of like that. You've got like this insane psychopath like from The Shining. You got Jack Baker. You've got um, you've got Marguerite Baker, which is like body horror. And you've got bugs and spiders like arachnophobia. You've got these tight crawl spaces, claustrophobia. You've got Lucas, which is like a psychopath, and you've got like gore with like sort of like sword traps with the games that you play, and you've got the gore with the headless cop. Um, you've got all this stuff. You've got all these different types of horror. So someone's ought to get scared or uncomfortable at some point in the game, at least once. I didn't even mention supernatural. You've got Evelyn doing all this supernatural stuff, things moving on their own. Like the ball in that little part when you get in the D series arm. Amazing. It does all these different types of horrors. You can tell the focus they put into making this game scary. They tried. And you can tell. Now, getting to the game and the gameplay itself. Start is amazing. On replays, not so amazing. Not only are the cutscenes unskippable, one of my biggest issues of the game is the fact that the cutscenes aren't skippable. So when you're trying to 100% it and all that, you can't. TikTok stream just ended, whatever. And then you have to replay that slow beginning over and over again. So even if you do skip cutscenes with a mod or something, it's a little bit annoying. It is a little bit annoying. Then you get the house section and stuff. You get the scene with the cop. You get the gun. That's like the first section of the game is awesome. The first few sections of the game, I think, are awesome. The house could be better. It is quite linear as a game. You're not usually presented with multiple ways to go, unless it's like an optional place. You've got the Marguerite section that's completely linear. You've got Lucas section completely linear. It all kind of goes downhill. Mainly when you get to the ship section of the game. The ship section of the game, everyone complains about. No one likes the ship section of the game. I hate. I hate the ship section of the game. It's my least favorite part of the game. The salt mine section is just pure action, which I'm not gonna hate too much for it because it's the end of a Resident Evil game. We're gonna have that. We're gonna have these intense, you unload all the ammo you've collected. They're gonna throw all the enemies they got at you. Whatever. The boss fights in this game are cool, but not the final boss fight. Fuck the final boss fight. But I don't know if I should be judging it too much because of the boss fights, because Ari isn't necessarily known for its boss fights. The last one is quite literally inject Evelyn, a fucking wall monster, which is quite common actually in Ari. But for the final boss fight, you think it'd be something else? Come on, it's just shoot it. It's just shoot at the face. And then that little bit at the end, which is just completely scripted. You've got funny Chris Redfield. What's up with Chris? No FOV slider? Yeah, that is an issue with this game. That is also an issue with RE8. There's no FOV slider. It feels like so zoomed in. That isn't great. I feel like Ethan's not a bad character either. I can get why people hate. Well, I don't see why you'd hate on him, but I get why you might not like him that much as a character after the 7th game. Although I personally loved him, especially after RE8. The choice at the end is a bit stupid. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you choose Zoe. You get quite a cheap ending. I don't think they really cared. They didn't show much care towards that choice. I don't think it just added an extra fight really and an ending. It changes the voice line at the end. Yeah, I don't. It's not the best RE game. I'm gonna say that it's not the best RE game. I. Is it one of the scariest? Sure. Is it out of all these games? Is it just a general game? Is it maybe better? Sure, yeah. Actually, maybe out of all these games, in general, maybe this is one of the best ones. Speaking about RE games, though, again high A, but I'll keep it at S, and it is one of my favorites. Probably, I don't know if I'm gonna put it in top 3, but it is one of my favorites, and you have to appreciate it for reviving everything. It's so iconic. Character's iconic. That antagonist iconic. It's awesome. Yeah, that's all I can say. I don't think there's anything else I can say about that. Oh yeah. Oh wait, there's loads to say. There's loads to say. The DLC. This game has some of the best DLC in all the games. It has the prequel, the Daughters. I think that's awesome. You got the card game 21. That's amazing. That's literally like playing sucking Saw. I love that, right? I mean, I 100% the game, and I had to do that on the hard mode. Nightmare, you've got Nightmare DLC, which is just shooting enemies, upgrading your stuff. getting more guns. That is also really fucking awesome. The Jack's 55th birthday isn't my favorite. Ethan Must Die is one of the funnest ever DLC I've ever played in any RE game. That's one of those funs I had. It can be frustrating, but I think it's so fun. We've got Ender Zoe, so the canon. We get to see Zoe actually live. We get to see Jack's brother. We get to see fucking someone punch these enemies for once. We don't see that in any RE game, really, do we? We see fucking Chris punch a boulder, but there's and we get like, well, no, we do get punching. We get like right hooks and all that, but we don't get to manually punch them as our main source of attack. And the final boss fight is pretty cool as well. Joe Must Die difficulty though is horrible. I hated every second of that. And Madhouse difficulty on this game, awesome as well. I love how it changes the game. I thought it was going to be super, super, super hard. Going into Madhouse difficulty, it wasn't actually as bad as I thought it would be. Sure, Jack is quite fast. But that's one little part of the game. It's not that bad. So yeah. I think I missed some DLC though. I think there's more DLC. Maybe I oh yeah, there's not a hero. We get to see Lucas's end. The whole thing with Lucas just being a psychopath and not actually infected for the majority of the game is awesome. And it gives a good excuse for the puzzles and traps and whatever that's in the house. Oh, we get to see the bedroom with Marguerite as well. That's also awesome. Yeah, maybe it should be asked just because of DLC alone. There's so much content in this game, and it's really good. I think they do really well at doing the horror aspects. But we've already talked about that. I'll put it low S. The main game, maybe, on that. Oh, first person. When it comes to the first versus third person debate, I don't care. I'm gonna be so real, I don't care. I like the idea that they were making Ethan just like an ordinary guy. That's why they didn't give him much character. And then making it first person so you feel like you're actually in it. You've got an everyday person, aka you, and you're playing this game in his point of view. I like the idea they were going for to make it more intimidating, more scary. I think that was a good idea, but I don't care actually. I love both first and third person. I think I might prefer third person, but I'm not gonna hate on this game because of first person. That's a lot of people's biggest criticism. For me, I don't mind it. I thought actually at first I thought it was really unique. It's so different, but it's fun different, if you get what I mean. You've never played an RA game in first person. Then you got this game, and it's fucking awesome. I love it. But do I prefer third person? Probably. But I loved the change. But again, I don't care whether future games are gonna be first or third person, since I know a lot of people did not like first person, and some people prefer first person. I think that's it. That's like one of the major changing. It comes to glazing. Um, what are you gonna glaze? You gonna glaze the game? For first person or something? Or should I move on? Move on to oh, here comes the glazing. Oh, because I'm gonna glaze R2. Okay. I'm actually not. Actually, no, I will, but I won't. RE2 remake. No. This is probably like my favorite game of all time. So I can confidently say I'm gonna put that here. Well, I don't know which one of these is gonna move up, but I know for sure this is going in S plus. for a fact, this is like one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time. I have the most hours out of any RE game on this one. Um, where do I even fucking start? The RPD is amazing. Mr. X, amazing. Terrified me so bad. It intimidated me so bad. I had to stop playing when I first played it. I was scared to start up the game because Mr. X would be roaming around. Fucking awesome. This game has one of the best speedruns of all time, I feel like. You don't see many speedruns in any of these games. Maybe RE7 kind of started the RE speedrun popularity thing. But it was mainly RE2. When speedrunning became really popular. Now we've sort of we've fully revived Resident Evil. Maybe not fully, but we've got it back. Capcom have got the Resident Evil formula. They've got it back. Sure, they had to remake an old game to do it, but they fucking did it so well. The original RE4 was super popular, yeah. Like the Ditman glitch and all that. But everyone forgot about RE because, like, it just went downhill. We didn't see many original RE4 speedruns for ages. But yeah, oh yeah, the next game's killed it. Yeah, exactly. It killed the entire series, so no one really cared anymore. And then this game changes everything. It's so good. First time round, it's not the longest game, but I wouldn't say it's too short. Especially because you've got like all 4 scenarios. I guess. I have problems. I do have problems. Believe me, I have problems, and it is to do with the scenarios in this game. And the fact that it's a remake is the thing that brings it down for me. Also, I didn't really like. The sewers is like my least favorite section. And then the lab is. I felt like they improved the lab actually. I think the lab in here, even though you're at the end of the game and you've got all these guns, it's still scary. Seeing liquors drop from the ceiling, seeing the lights being off in some of the rooms as well, it still like has that. It never scared me, the game, apart from Mr. X and the liquors. The liquors used to scare me. So they made the lab scarier. They made the game longer than this game. The sewers I don't like. They should have kept the spiders, not the G's. I hate the fucking G's so much. You comment on the Ada stocks, great. What? Ada stocks. Seriously, I hate you, honestly. Ada being not looking for her husband, or her boyfriend, she's an FBI agent now. That's a different excuse. I guess it's interesting. I know people don't like that. It's alright. It's whatever. Seeing Kendo, that's kind of cool. The Survivors is okay. Not amazing. The randomizer isn't part of the game, but the mods for the game are pretty awesome. I don't want to get into my criticisms yet. I want to glaze everything, but the graphics are amazing. I think that's a good improvement as well. Marvin's in it for a little bit longer. That's also awesome. You know, the scene where he points a gun at you, that's like the first scene with Marvin in the original, one of the first scenes. But now you don't get to that part until you've collected the medallions, which maybe that takes me 8 minutes in a speedrun, but on a normal playthrough it would take you way longer than that. So you have Marvin there for a while. Yeah, it's one of my favorite games of all time. So I guess just going to the criticisms, I don't really know. I've already shat on the sewer section. I don't really like the Game Pass. I still love the game, but it loses it when it gets past the RPD and gets into the sewers and the lab and all that. But I suppose that's just RE formula, really. You start off in a big place and you end in a lab. My criticisms for the game. My main one has to be the comparison of this to this, which is to do the scenarios. The scenarios in this game are cheap. There's barely any difference between doing Leon A and Claire B, or Leon B and Claire A. The only thing it changes is like who meets Marvin, and some of the item placements, or like there's not different. Some of the guns you get a second scenario weapons. Cool, I guess. It changes what place you start in, what side of the car you start in. But it doesn't change like really much else. It doesn't. I think it's cool that in the second scenario, Mr. X comes earlier. You don't expect it. That's awesome. But then there's also some plot holes. Like one of the plot holes, like if Leon and Ada are if Leon and Claire are going around the RPD at the same sort of times, why don't you bump into each other? And why is there like double Mr. X's? Mr. X dies in like Claire B, but then he's still alive in Leon A. Obviously, there's a theory that there was 6 Mr. X's because of the helicopter. But again, it's weird, and the scenarios don't change the story at all. It doesn't. There's nothing really changes apart from what side you start on and minor items, which this game does do. It does change. If you're doing Leon A and Claire B, the story is actually going to be different than Claire A and Leon B. In this game, Claire A was canon, and Leon B. And I think it depends on like who takes the pendant. Does Ada have the pendant around her neck, or does Sherry have the pendant around her neck? Does Annette die to falling beams, or does Annette die, or does she live on one of them? I don't think she does. Or does Annette die to Birkin? It changes things. I think it changes the way Ada dies. Ada can die by either falling off the thing, or Ada can die by, I think, by a boss or something. There's big things that change in this game with the different scenarios, which this game doesn't do. And in this game, you see Claire, if you're playing as Leon, you see Claire on the RPD. You walk into a room, and Claire's there, and she's chasing after Sherry, who's running off. When you do Claire's playthrough next, you walk in, Sherry's running off, and then Leon comes in, and the same cutscene plays. You see Claire, or they meet in the STARS office at one point, and they talk there, and no matter who you play as, the same thing's going to happen. You know, they interlink. The Mr. X thing isn't a problem in this one. So, as a remake, they removed stuff. You don't want to be removing stuff in a remake unless it's bad. You only want to be adding stuff and keeping what the original had. They added some really good stuff, but they also moved some of like the most like unique parts, like the scenario changes, the meeting each other in the RPD. They've added plot holes to the game. Why would you add plot holes? Now, scenario in canon was Claire A in this one. This is the canon scenario. But in RE2, I was just about to talk about that. Technically, there is no canon, I think. Because, just like RE1, where there's no canon ending, there's no true ending for RE1. Because either way, someone's locked up the entire game, but they're both meant to experience the mansion, and everyone's supposed to survive. RE1 doesn't have a true ending. I don't think RE2 does have like an actual ending, or like an actual canon playthrough. Or, not ending, but canon, like, playthrough. Like, do you play as Jill, do you play as Chris? None of them. They both do it at the same time. We have to imagine, we have to use imagination as to what happened in RE1. I think it's the same for RE2. I think Leon A is canon, because in RE4 Remake, the the opening scene of RE4 remake is Leon meeting Marvin and him aiming a gun at him, and that only happens in Leon A, not Leon B. So it has to be canon Leon A because of what we saw in RE4. Also in RE4, if you look at the knife description, it's labeled as the knife that Marvin gives you. In Leon B, Marvin never gives you the knife. You never meet Marvin. You only see him dead in the RBD hall. Which means he has to give you the knife, which means it has to be Leon A. But as I said, I don't think there's really a canon playthrough with the stupid plot holes of Mr. X and all that.
Stars. Molly, tip £3. Keep talking, pretty boy.
It's going in the video. Thanks for the £3, Molly. I appreciate it. I will keep talking. Thank you. But yeah, I'm. Thank you so much for the amount that I glaze this game, the amount that I love this game. I do talk so passionately about what they missed in this game with the scenarios. It's not huge, right? You've still got the main game. It's still awesome. But one of my favorite games of all time. I love it. But yeah, they've missed a lot. How do I act? I loved it. That's what I'll say. You can go back in the video when I upload it. But yeah, thank you so much. Is what I said. But I'm gonna stop talking, not keep talking about this game at least. I think I said enough. Shut up. Shush. Oh boy. Who do we have here? RE3 remake. I'm gonna have to keep my voice down because of how loud I'm gonna shout when it comes to this game. I don't like it anymore. I like it. I don't like it though. I like it. I don't love it like I used to. I'm gonna temporarily. Okay, so watching this back and editing, I definitely do not agree with this. It's definitely like a B, and I do change it later on. It's just looking back and editing, I I even regret putting it in A, even thinking about it. So thank you. I'm gonna temporarily put it in A, but I honestly, I would accept that. My problem, right? The good things about the game. What good things are there? The graphics are better. Nemesis' design is a bit more detailed, maybe. Dodging mechanic, it's kind of cool.
Stars.
Molly, oh my god.
£2, 5 whole pounds. I better be getting it tonight.
You will be getting it tonight, yes. 5 whole pounds. You're using all your money on me. How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, thank you. Thank you for the £2. Interrupting my app though. How dare you? I'll be getting 40 quid a week soon. True. Right. Thanks for the £4, £2, £5 total, but we've got RE3. It's all going to be, better not be. I'm still trying to think of good things about RE3. The graphics, the dodge. Oh, I know a good thing. I know one good thing about RE3. Seeing Marvin get bit. That is fucking awesome. Seeing Marvin, how he got bit in RE2, like in our world, seeing get bit here and, you know, what led him to RE2. That is awesome. I love that. So that's one good thing. I'm thinking I've I think how long have I been sat here? Think of any good things to say? Carlos is a good character. Maybe I guess they improved him a little bit. Oh, the opening cutscene was really cool. I think the opening cutscene was sick. Being in first person and seeing Jill's trauma from the first game, seeing her nightmares and being able to see her apartment. It's the first time in any RE game where we've got to see the character's house, apartment, their living space. That is quite cool. It's only small. You know, but that's the only that's one of the only few good things I can say about this game. That shows that it's not looking great for this game. I fucking I can't think of anything good. Why should I put it up there? The reason why I'm saying there's no good things and not putting it at D or anything is because it's still got the RE2, still similar to that, and it's using the RE engine. But that's also bad because they didn't give. Let's just go on to criticisms, okay? Now, this is going to take me ages because there's so many things I have to say. One of the things being, I was excited for was seeing new enemy varieties, seeing new uniforms on the zombies, seeing new clothing. But all the zombie models were practically the same as what we saw in RE2. But okay, it's fine. But then there's also reused assets throughout the game. That is so obvious. Again, fine, whatever, I'll take it, As long as it's a long, fleshed out game with loads of stuff, I'm fine. Nope. The game is like 4 hours long on your first playthrough. Maybe it took me 5 hours on my first playthrough. It's the I don't know where to start. I genuinely don't know where to start. They removed so much from the original. This is where it's going to start, right? This game would be so good if they had kept it the same as this. This game's an S tier. This might even go up to S+. This is one of my favourite RE games of all time. RE3 Remake, fucked it. Absolutely fucked it. When it came out in 2020, I loved it. I hadn't played the original. I loved this game. Not anymore. Compared to the original, I'm going to start with the map. One of the most iconic things or places in RE3 is Raccoon City itself. We get to roam around the streets of Raccoon City. I was talking earlier about the map, wasn't I? I was talking about these dense streets and alleyways and different routes you can go. Huge city which you can get lost in. Now let's talk about RE3. We've got road, donut shop in the middle. That's it. That's what you got. There's some buildings you can go into along the street. There's a little power station you can go into. It's not really like another street or anything. You've got a street. You've got another street. That's all you got. All you got. There's like a little rooftop thing that connects the streets. Really fucking small, by the way. 2 enemies there. Like it's awful. And then the sewer section is like 5 minutes. If even that. I don't think there was a sewer section in RE3. I forgot. Maybe there was with the spiders. I haven't played it in a long while. But yeah, with Raccoon City, the downgrade is phenomenal. Okay? Now, one of my favourite sections of RE3 Nemesis, other than the city itself, being able to explore the city, the game had less than a year to be made. Then they should have spent longer. They should have spent longer making it then. But anyway, RE3, my favorite part, other than my favorite sort of map or part of the game, other than Raccoon City. No, I have two. One of my favorite sections of the game was, well, my favorite sections of RE3 Nemesis, other than Raccoon City, was the RPD section and the clock tower section. Those are my highlights, right? Those are my favorite parts of RE3 Nemesis. Those parts I loved. Those are parts I adored. I got to those parts and I was like, no way, this is so cool. RE3 Remake, RPD section. Doesn't really exist. It exists kind of, but it's a very cheap Carlos version. But it's still there. You still visit the RPD. You get to see Brad. Cool. Now the clock tower section. One of the most unique sections in the game. One of my favourite sections in this game ever. RE3 Remake. You see the clock tower. You run towards it. You're thinking, oh fuck yeah. We're about to enter this clock tower. We're going to have one of the game's going to be so good. We get this clock tower. We're going to see Nemesis. It's going to be so awesome. The cutscene plays, and you're fighting Dog Nemesis outside the clock tower. And then you get a cutscene, and you're just straight into the lab. They were just straight into the lab. No clock tower section. Completely removed it. Scrapped out the game. Where'd it go? They couldn't. Board forced them to capitalize on a breakout. I don't think I agree. Like, I mean, sure, when it comes to like music and stuff, when you release a popular album, of course you want to get the next one out instantly. Now that's what's on you, but like games, especially for Resident Evil, that's already popular. When did RE3 Remake start development? I'm gonna search that up now. They started RE3 in 2019. They had yeah, okay, 2019. Announced in December. So yeah. Oh no, apparently it was in production for like 3 years. Right, anyway. Enough of that. Where was I even at? What was I even talking about? The clock tower being removed. You just fight outside it and you get a boss fight and then skip to the lab. In this game, I was scared shitless when Nemesis jumped into the RPD through the window. RE3 Remake didn't happen. You go there as Carlos. In RE2 Remake, you get, before RE3 came out, you get to the shower room and you see the hole in the wall. And you're like, yeah, in RE3 Remake, Mr. X is going to come and cut a Mr. X is going to bash down that wall and, you know, get to Jill, just shouting his iconic stars. It's going to be an awesome RPD chase. No. You blow up the wall with some TNT as Carlos. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Bit of a disappointment. Brad's death scene is one of the most iconic ever. Iconic deaths ever in the RE series. In Nemesis, it was really cool, but in the remake, doesn't happen. Brad just... What happened? Brad just dies off screen and bites Marvin, which is cool. It's cool that we saw Marvin, but... And the hospital section is probably my least favorite. I hate the hospital section. Yep. We can't talk about the hospital section. I don't like the hospital. Felt very cheap. Oh wait, no, it doesn't skip you into the lab. It skips you into the hospital, but the hospital is kind of No, it's not the lab. My bad, that's my mistake, actually. When you get to the clock tower in the remake, you don't actually go in the clock tower, you just skip to the hospital, which is annoying. I always put the hospital and the lab together. I don't know why, I just do that. They're just very similar settings. It was quite annoying. Yeah, and you play a lot of it as Carlos. It's annoying. And then when you get Jill back, you just escape it instantly, or if you want to explore and get the Magnum, that takes a couple of minutes, take a minute or so. Yeah, like, the hospital took too long, I know, right? RE3 remake, you've got the city section, probably the best section of the game, but it takes like fucking 20 minutes. On a, even on a first playthrough, it's like, no, maybe not on the first playthrough, but the little city section takes fucking minutes, and it's 2 streets. The best part of RE of that game, and they still managed to reduce it so much from the original, and I hate that. I have so many issues with this game. I don't like the enemies too much. I don't like the pale heads. They're a bit annoying. I guess it was kind of cool to see them after RE2, but the little mutants that Nemesis makes, not my favorite either. Really not my favorite. The defense section, yeah, they try to recreate the cabin again, don't they? In the hospital with Carlos at the end. And another fuck-ass explosion. Are you kidding me? And the final boss fight is stupid. How is Jill holding that fuck-ass gun and shooting it and not getting any recoil? She bounces back very slightly. She flinches. Excuse me? That should break your fucking back. And then also the iconic line at the end of RE3, that you want stars? I'll give you stars. She throws that in the fucking middle of the game, randomly, at some random chase sequence. It is dumb and ridiculously designed. It's okay. It's frustrating in like the harder difficulties, like the Nightmare and Inferno. I think I've said enough. If I think any more, there's probably more bad things I can say. It's just so short. Didn't flesh out anything. The city, the maps, the pacing. No, not it. RE Village. Better than RE3. Not an S rank game. I said I'm not going to be specific with these. I'm just going to put, okay, I'm not going to be specific, I'm just going to put it there. Overrated. I'm going to be repeating myself from previous streams when I've talked about this game. Overrated, why? Good things about the game, I don't really know if I should be saying good things. If you played it, you played it. If you liked it, you liked it. For a game called RE Village, you don't spend a lot of time in the village. And when you do, it's only really treasure hunting. It's not, you're not actually wandering around for any key items. The majority of the time, anyway, that's not the case. The game got a lot of hype because of Lady Dimitrescu. So I'll address that now. But then, like, it got loads of hype from Dimitrescu. But when you get to the section, when you get to the castle section, it's a very short portion of the game. And there's 3 mini boss fights in it and a main boss fight, and they're all just spaced within minutes of each other. At least if you kind of know what you're doing. But even if you haven't played, I feel like it's still not too long. And the castle section was hyped. They thought, Lady Dimitrescu is going to be like this stalker enemy. You're going to be running around this castle, getting lost, and you walk into this castle, you see it. The design is awesome, right? It's such a good atmosphere. It's amazing, and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to get lost in this place. There's going to be so many doors to go through. I won't know where to go. I won't know where to go first. I'm going to have to plan out my routes. But that never happens. That never happens. There's only ever one door to go through, and it's the way you're meant to go. It's all linear. It had some of the biggest potential. The atmosphere was perfect. I mean, they'd created the atmosphere. They made it. They already made it so good. But then they made it the cheapest section ever. They made a huge design, but then they're like, okay, we're gonna work on this castle, make it the best looking thing in the game, make it look like there's so much to do, just to spend like 20 minutes in it. And it's just not fleshed out. It's not good. It's just not. It's still fun. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the game still, just because of the atmosphere alone. But it's too short, and they don't. It's too linear as well. That's my biggest issues. And you only see Lady Dimitrescu maybe once or twice trying to stalk you, or chasing you, or running after you. You only really see that once or twice. Big disappointment as well. The other bosses, Mariah, he's okay. The baby is one of the creepiest parts in all RE. It might be one of the most scared I've ever been in an RE game. That section still to this day gets me. It still tenses me very bad. But on repeat playthroughs, not the funnest either. I'm gonna be honest. Also, the replayability, like RE7 was way worse, but still in RE8, having to do that first bit over and over again a bit annoying. The good thing is when yeah, it is very scary, but on repeat playthroughs, it usually only takes me like 5 minutes. It only takes a few minutes, really. So at least you can get it over and done with on repeat playthroughs, but the first time, terrifying. It's also one of the shortest parts. I think it's the shortest like boss little section of the game too, and it's the scariest. The game, people always say, you know, I've said this before. People say, "Oh wow, it's so good. It's like a mixture of RE7 and RE4." But that's not a good thing. RE4 got away with being so action orientated because of the amount of the enemies it threw at you. It made you use your ammo. It made these tough situations because it knew that you were trying, that you had all this ammo, that you were still trying to conserve and still trying to sort out with the merchant and all that. So it throws these enemies at you. RE7 isn't known for having many enemies. One thing I didn't mention is the enemy types. There aren't many enemy types. It's mainly just the antagonists that are iconic. That's another bad thing about RE7. But yeah, no, the well was a cool village, by the way. I actually forgot what I was saying about RE8 there. What was I saying? Don't remind me what I was fucking saying. I got lost in track. But you're talking about RE9 because the stock ending that is sick. I actually can't wait. Alright, yeah, the RE4 thing. Yeah, RE7 doesn't throw enemies at you. RE4 does. RE8 tries to be action orientated while also not throwing those enemies at you, like in 7. They don't really match. At the start, it's cool because you've kind of got like a RE4 village. That's kind of sick. I think the start is actually quite cool. You've got all those enemies coming at you. That's nice. It's not until the factory. Even though the factory is my least favorite part of the game, it probably is, like, in general terms, one of the better designed because it is more action paced, like orientated, and got the materials, you got the weapons, you got the weaponry for that. So yeah, that's that. I mean, I guess the last part of the game is where you let out all your ammo, but it does fail quite a bit. But it's still a really good game, and I also the story as well. Even at the end, that did hit. That did actually hit. And the plot twist of Ethan was awesome. The fact that he died in RE7 at the start with the punch, and that he's literally just living mold. That's awesome. Like, that's fucking awesome. And you know, Ethan's death at the end. Obviously, we got that. Shadows of Rose is also what I want to talk about. I think Shadows of Rose is also quite. I think it's quite good. I actually enjoyed Shadows of Rose, primarily because of the story, I think, but it was cool, and I can't lie, I think it did make me cry when I played it, because of Ethan and Rose being able to talk and see each other. That really hit me as well. So, and also we get Chris back, the boulder punching asshole. Get Chris, and he doesn't look as stupid as RE7 either. So yeah, that's something. I'm gonna stop talking about it now. I've said what needs to be said. It is a great game still, and I want to say it's one of my favorites, but I'm saying every one of these is my favorites. So yeah, last game for RE9. RE4, perfect game. Didn't need a remake, right? A remake would just fuck it up. It would move stuff. It would fuck everything up, right? The DLC in this game was also really good. Please don't remake it. Don't do it. Don't fuck it up. It'd be really cool to see a modern overhaul. I mean, I was actually supportive of it. I really wanted to see what they would do. But did you really want to do that? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do I put it in S+? I will. Why? Why have I, without any doubt, put this in S+, but I didn't do that for RE4 original? Is it better than the original? No. Is the original better than the remake? No. Is it down to personal preference? Absolutely. Absolutely. Whether you like the original more or the remake more, this is how you know they perfected this fucking game. Because it's now down to preference. The game was almost the same. And they've added more stuff. They removed the U3 fight, which is like one of my least favorite parts, even though I guess it's kind of tense. They didn't remove it, they added it to separate ways, which is what I predicted. I don't know what that is, but okay. They removed the U3 fight, which I didn't like in the original, but they added it to separate ways. They made it something I would like, that I do like. So they improved that. Then the Vista doors in the original, I fucking hated them. So annoying. In the remake, I still fucking hate them. I still hate them. But you can parry. You can move and aim at the same time. You can run around. You're not using tank controls. When you've got enemies shooting at you, when you've got bows shooting at you, you can press one button and parry the arrow. You know, it's all down to your skill, whether you time that correctly, whether you're aware of the arrow coming towards you. That's skill. That's awesome fucking gameplay. In RE4, you couldn't avoid that if you were aiming in. You'd have to aim out and move slowly. You were almost likely to get hit no matter what. But in the remake, with the new gameplay, some of the best gameplay in any game I've ever played, by the way, everything I criticised about the OG RE4, they removed it from the remake and made it better. So that's why I'm putting it in S+ tier, because I prefer it. If you prefer the charm of this game, sure, but I prefer this. I'm not afraid to say it. The generators are fucking creepy. They've still managed to keep that in the game. The village set is still iconic. I'm sad about some of the voice lines they removed. They still had the bingo. They had to keep that in. It was required. But they removed the no thanks, bro, and they removed the your right hand comes off. Why did they do that? So that's annoying as well. And the cheesy calls with Salazar and stuff. Yeah. The Salazar statue chase scene, yeah. Your right hand comes off. I will say the Salazar boss fight is not great. I don't like that. I do like the side quests. I like how organized they are. That is awesome. Like, there's only good things to say. I can't... Have I criticized this game yet? Apart from the Salazar boss fight not being great. I don't know if I've made any criticisms yet. The calls of Salazar were hilarious, yeah. There's so much charm to the original, but yeah. The remake, and there's so much added, like the little side quests you can do, more fleshed out than what you had in the original. You know, the additional backtracking. Ashley, they improved Ashley. I feel like Ashley was more bearable in the remake than in the original. I wasn't like a lot of people who absolutely hated Ashley in the original, but I didn't like her, I will admit. She was sometimes annoying. The combinable treasures, there's more of those and they're easier. They're like... Oh yeah, I think her model improved. Leon looks better than ever. Seeing his jacket in 4K. Like, amazing. So the main game, amazing. I think they removed the stuff I didn't like, or they improved upon the game that made the stuff I didn't like likable. Separate ways. Peak. They took a shot and it went right fucking in. Cleared it. Separate ways was also awesome. Being able to use the grappling hook. I think you could do that. Yeah, you could do that in the original, but it was like these little buttons that you just press at certain times. No problem. Yeah, the separate ways they also did really well. Seeing the Ganado with Leon's jacket on is cool, but you also saw that in the original. I'm pretty sure you did anyway. Separate ways was good. You got the U3 boss fight in it now as well. To be honest, not having Krauser in Separate Ways in the remake, I don't think he was in it, was he? That wasn't... I did like that. I liked having Krauser in, I mean. Not having him in, I liked having him in. So seeing him removed, nah, well, fine. But they replaced it with U3, and they improved on him from the main game, in my opinion. So it's one of my favourite games of all time. And in terms like in Resident Evil games. I'm gonna stop yapping. Is anybody good things to say about this? Personal preference, as I said, between these two. I'm not gonna do that. Now, which of these games am I putting in S+? Which one's my favourite out of these? Not this one. I'm gonna rule out that one. I think I'm gonna rule out this one. I think, because I've already got RE2. I'm gonna rule out maybe that one. Make it illegal. Although I might actually have done that. It is between Nemesis and 7. fuck. What do I do, guys? You guys are all gonna say 7. If I put the 3... I do love RE7, I've 100%ed it. But if Nemesis was remade, I don't mean like a shitty remake like this would easily be S+. And only because it's an older game, I'm not gonna let it sit back here. I'm gonna act like I was born in the 90s or the 80s, and I'm gonna put it here. Put it in between them. It's 2, 3, 4. RE7, very close contender to one of my favourites, but I'm putting Nemesis in. For the same reasons before, seeing the Raccoon City, the Clock Tower sections, decisions, Nemesis. Awesome. 6, 7. Okay. So that's what I'm going for. And RE7 is close. It is really close. I love RE7. I don't love the unskippable cutscenes though, so actually, you know what? I don't regret it. I don't regret it. This is it. This is the final list. What do you guys think of the... This is it. I haven't played these. I'm waiting for Code Veronica to come out on PC. RE6, debatable. It's fun. You can put it on the C. But to fill up the D slot, fine. But it is a fun game. It's got good mechanics. I wouldn't mind that. RE0, don't like it. Not the worst, but the character's amazing. Whatever, Iron Box. Yeah, that's fine. I've yapped so much about this. It's just... It's fine. It's a good start. Slightly underrated, maybe. I don't... If this game's underrated, it's only by a very small amount. Amazing with a Friend definitely belongs in, like, mid to high. I don't think it does belong where a lot of people might put them. I would consider maybe high B. Underrated, overrated. Perfect survival horror game, but not very fun. Well, it's kind of fun, but it's not something I want to play over and over again with the cuts, the doors, and all that. It's not got that action element. But I have put it in S tier because it is a perfect game for survival horror. RE4, it's RE4. RE7. Amazing. But I've got issues. RE2, amazing. And there are things about it that are better than RE2. And RE2 does improve. The remake does improve, like Mr. X being a stalker enemy and not scripted. I don't think I mentioned that. No problem. Thank you for the compliment. But this is my favorite game of all time, probably. This shocked me, probably because I played the remake first. But how good this is, seeing the city. It's so unique. The clock tower is so unique. Come on. And then and then the remake of RE4. I feel like it does improve, but again, personal preference. So that's the list. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Let me make sure. Okay, I am recording. For a second, I thought I forgot to click record. Also, 2 hours. This is going to take ages to edit. I'm going to have to find each and every point where I stop talking. Anyway. What do you guys think of my list? Do you think I'm controversial and niche with my opinions, or do you think I'm actually it's not that bad? Do I go with the majority? Would you say with a lot of them? I have, my own. I have some of my own personal opinions when it comes to like RE5 and like these side games like Revelations. Obviously, I have my own little opinions that this is a bit underrated. This is overrated. Okay, and I don't like that. And these are just my favorites. I mean, hell, RE4 could have been down here, but it's my favorite game. But no, in general terms, it would have been an S, but it's my favorite. So, but I'm sorry, but RE5 is a C, maybe a B at best. Playing with AI, C, low B. Playing with a friend, B. The amount of fun I had is going in A. Maybe I'll put it on this side. Yeah, she's changing my mind now. I do want to put it in like high B. I do kind of want to put it at high B instead. Because for the game it is. I can't decide on these. I can't decide on that. I can't decide on this at all. The amount of fun I had is huge, and it makes me want to put it at A. But then it's not RE6 stupid at all. So, I mean, we'll put it there, but I think it could be in any of these. So, that's it for the tier list. Thank you for giving me your opinions. That was enjoyable to hear me yap for ages and ages about this. Um, so yeah. Goodbye, YouTube. That's where the recording will stop. And that's also where the video is going to end. Thank you for joining. Please feel free to give your own opinions in the comments. I'm completely open to them, and I'd love to hear what you guys think. This is my list. Um, I don't, I don't think I disagree with my choices. I do speak about just then how some things are probably interchangeable for me. Um, to be honest, I love all the games, even RE6. I I enjoy RE6, believe it or not. Um, so yeah, they're all S tier, in my opinion, in the end. Um, thank you for watching. Please subscribe, please like. I hope to see you again soon. See ya.